Good afternoon, guys, and welcome along. Sorry about the little pause there. Just trying to work between two different screens, but I think I've got it sussed now. So we are looking at the market. The microphone is on, the desktop audio is off, and our streaming quality is green. Okay, so now that we've got all that established, it is 1:57 on Monday the 17th of July 2023, and this is year 1, week 15 of what will be a 8-year or thereabouts fire journey. So as you can see, the market is open. There's virtually no change from open this morning, and yeah, things look alright. So let's go ahead and put in our weekly £120 worth of value into the S&P 500, seen here on the Trading 212 practice platform. As you can see, that's going to buy us just over 1.8 shares at current market value. We'll send that through. We've sent it through, it has executed. Let's just see if values have updated. So I can see down here that the value has updated. We're now sitting with a portfolio value of 8,468. On this side, that hasn't updated. Let's just refresh that. I hate working with figures that are just not quite up to date. So with any luck, this will refresh. It will show me the updated portfolio value on the right hand side there. I don't know why this seems to be an issue with the platform, in that it doesn't seem to reflect portfolio value changes straight away, even though at the bottom of the screen you can see it. But it's a platform issue. I don't think it's a website issue, because, as I say, the figures at the bottom do update. Okay, so we are back. We're looking at the right part of the account. Not just quite ready to reveal my personal figures to the public as a whole, but maybe one day. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got our new portfolio value shown here, 8468, and the portfolio as a whole is up 3.7% on the amount invested, and we have 41,840 remaining in our practice portfolio that we can use over the course of the next, I suppose, 7 years now. These are the notifications, so that's just the purchase. I think I'll just mention the ones that I recognise, because honestly, many of them I don't. Now I was going to say something about Hermes there, but just above I see it says luxury stocks drop. I'm not sure that relates to the Hermes that I'm thinking of. There's Hermes that does the deliveries, or parcels or whatever. Not sure you would call it a luxury stock, so maybe it's not that. Okay, what else have we got? Canopy Growth, down 36% on Nasdaq non-compliance notice and liquidity problems. I'm no expert, but I believe Canopy Growth may well have been one of the cannabis growing stocks. I think, am I right in saying they had some of those stocks anyway had had a lot of success in Canada, as far as I know, because they had legalized it. So there's something about NASDAQ non-compliance. Don't really know what that means myself, or indeed whether it's actually related to the liquidity problems. But that's quite a knock there, down a third. If that is a if that's a sustainable, sustainable is the wrong word, if it's a viable company, and I have no reason to think that it wouldn't be, that might be quite a good time to buy. Okay, that's if you're interested in individual stocks, and I'm not, so moving on. I don't know what that's about. Obviously something to do with banks. Nokia down 9%, so that's the mobile phone people, after sales outlook cut, citing macroeconomic headwinds. So Nokia is getting it tight. I've got a feeling they were one of the Nordic countries, but don't quote me on that. It's interesting that they are feeling a bit of a pinch. I have it in my head that historically, and I don't know if this is still the case, but historically Nokia would have been quite a bit cheaper than, say, the likes of the iPhone. And if anything, I would kind of have expected that as consumers find that they are coming closer to financial difficulty, let's say, with the increase in the price of everything, I actually would have thought that Nokia should have benefited from that, because you might have had people who otherwise might have bought an iPhone who choose to to go down a brand, so to speak, to go to a Nokia because of the price difference. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Nokias are just as good and just as expensive now as what the iPhone is or was. I personally have never owned an iPhone. I never intend to. I am very happy with my cheapest of the bunch Android touchscreen out of the local supermarket, which I buy SIM free, and then I add my own SIM and plan to that, and I can tell you those phones wear out just as well as any other phone. After 4 or 5 years, they look as if they have run a marathon and are ready to be replaced, just as much as any other more expensive phone would, except that obviously if you've only spent 40 quid on a phone to begin with, then it's not so much of a loss to put it in a drawer somewhere as a spare if you absolutely have nothing else, and buy a new one. Right, coming back to the market here, not really much more to say about that. It's a quiet looking week. Well, I suppose this is the first day of the week, but yeah, things look, to my mind, to have calmed a little bit, and I think that's a good thing, quite honestly. If you look at the sort of the previous trend there and see where that is headed, and well, obviously as we come closer, that puts a bit of a jagged edge on things. But if I do that, doesn't this look a lot more like this in terms of the sort of the trajectory? To me that looks healthy. I will not say any more than that for fear of scuppering myself, but we have not got massive shoots one way or the other, and frankly you don't want to have either. You just want a nice general consistent growth generally upwards, and that is how we want to see things progressing as we move closer and closer towards financial independence. Guys, that's it for today. I don't see anything much else to say about it. Actually, what I will say, I haven't got it here, but I came across an article in the Daily Mail, I think it was today's one, just talking about investing, and they suggested that you should continue to invest. They gave some examples of different funds to the S&P 500. They were giving, I suppose, probably UK centric funds, and they were talking about the dividend yield, and also the growth that they have seen in the past 3 years. Honestly, I haven't looked into those funds personally, so I don't know whether the last 3 years for those funds was sort of exceptional, whether it was foreseeable, or whether indeed it was just pure good fortune and a bit of a fluke. And the Daily Mail have been a little bit cheeky in suggesting that you should put money into those, but their bottom line does, their take on the whole does seem to be keep investing. Yes, by all means, certainly put some money into savings if you can get it into savings. Ideally, anywhere between 4 and 6% is a nice healthy rate of interest. And other than that, keep investing, and that's been my mantra, I think, from day one. Consistency is key, and we keep putting in money every week, and that is the way to do it. It doesn't have to be every week. Every month would do. Personally, I like to invest every week, and just set it. And if you've got a way to set it and forget it, so be it. That's fantastic. I personally like to actually do the actual investing directly myself each week. I think it keeps me in touch with what's happening in the market, and I think it's a small investment in time as well as in effort, just to keep on top of it. Interestingly, I had a letter actually from Barclays this morning telling me that they are going to get rid of my overdraft from the end of August. I had an overdraft facility which they are removing. I haven't used it in the past year, so what can I say? The rainy day fund is doing its job, and I've not needed to go beyond that. I don't know. It's I'm a little bit suspicious anytime I see anything from a bank talking about taking anything away from you. Nigel Farage had a couple of not just him, but Nigel Farage and a couple of other people, in fact a few, probably tens of other people, have had issues with banks recently, and I am just becoming a little bit less trusting of banks than I used to be, albeit I essentially use the bank as a holding point. It's where I receive money into, and it's where I pay money out of, but it isn't where I keep most of my money. Most of it's kept in the stock market. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you have, feel free to come back again next week, and if you want to be notified I think if you hit the bell icon, I'm not sure if you have to subscribe first or not, but that should let you know the next time there's more content online to watch. Have a great end to your day, and I've just realised I hadn't queued up the there we go, that's it now. Okay, so yes, have a great end to your day, and hopefully